live. Give yourselves a big round of applause to those of you who are already joining us live here, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Exponential Traction for this day of Friday. Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever the case may be for you. Hello to Malu who's already with us. Go ahead, Malu, tag your friends. Everybody, this is being broadcasted in several channels. Today is Friday, and Friday is all about marketing. Type marketing there in the chat box. Woohoo! 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 Hello, how's everybody doing?
Go.
Good. So I'd like to introduce here my co-host, my very good friend. Okay, very excited every time, always adding value to everybody who's watching this live or on replay. The Facebook organic marketing expert, ladies and gentlemen, my dear friend, Cameron Archnault. Cameron, why don't you introduce yourself first to everyone who's watching us live right now?
Awesome. Welcome in, everyone. Super excited to have you guys here for yet another Friday where myself, Mac, and our other guests bring you guys everything you guys need to know about marketing. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Cameron Archnault. I am the founder of Operation Freedom and creator of the Freedom System, where our goal is simple, right? To help coaches, consultants, entrepreneurs just like you guys be able to launch their programs and have the freedom to travel the world. So that's kind of our goal here. And I'm excited to bring you guys some of the best tips, tricks, and strategies that myself, Mac, and the other guests have learned to help you guys make that a reality. So over to yourself, Mac. Let's hear a little bit about who you are and how we can help these guys kickstart their marketing today.
Thank you, Cam. Hello, everybody. Those of you who don't know me, my name is Mac Comandante, and over the past 5 years alone, I have coached and trained over 20,000 entrepreneurs from different parts of the world, helping them build their confidence to grow their sales by 300% and remove constraints towards exponential growth. How many of you would be interested with any of that? Type interested there in the comments box if you are. Okay, well done. Now, Cam, you've talked about traveling the world, and this is something that you were able to do because you've built a system. Tell us, where are you at right now, man?
So I am currently in a little town called Porto Escondido. Beautiful little beach surfing town. I've tried to pick up a little bit of surfing while I'm here. The one thing that unfortunately we do get with these beautiful beach towns is sometimes the internet connection is not the greatest. So hopefully we'll stay connected with you guys. But yeah, it's a big passion of mine to be able to travel. I know a lot of people, right? If you ask them that simple question, would you love to travel more? The answer is almost invariably yes. And that's why, for yourself as well, I'm sure, Mac, is the ability, the opportunity that we all have to be able to build a business and grow, build something of our own like that to give us that kind of freedom. We're so grateful and fortunate to be in a time where we have everything that we need to do it. It's just a matter of learning those skills. And that's what we're here to help you guys do. So again, that's why I'm passionate about that. Myself personally is for travel. And excited to be able to help you guys do the same if that's you guys' passion as well.
I love that. Now, team, how many of you also want that? Type IWT for I want that. Type IWT in the comments box. Okay, because again, team, we only bring you the best of the world. Okay, and these are people who are in the practice, meaning to say they actually preach what they practice. Okay, not only teachers and gurus who claim that they've probably read it somewhere. Okay, and now they start to teach. Okay, Cameron here. Okay, as you can see, he's actually doing it for himself. He's able to implement a system in his business whereby he's able to generate consistent leads for his business regardless of where he is. And he's doing this organically, meaning to say, not paying for any ads. If you want to learn that, type I in the chat box, in the comments box. Come on,
And
team,
even
go
if
ahead.
there's bad internet,
Yeah,
and even if there's bad internet connection, you can still do it too. That's fine.
exactly. Good.
uh,
Okay, so everybody, here's what we're gonna be talking about today. How many of you are just starting out in your business? Okay, or how many of you've been doing your business already for several years, for several months, but you still don't have any testimonials? That's why it sounds something like this. I can't yet start my own marketing, Mac or Cam, because I still don't have any testimonials to begin with. Okay, how would I be able to do this? So that's exactly what we're going to be talking about. How you can start even if you don't yet have any testimonials, and how you can actually get your first testimonial from a happy client, if I may put it that way. Was I able to capture this properly, Cam?
Yeah, no, that sounds amazing. And, that's one of the big things I know for a lot of us, like who here, right? Show a hand, type an I in the comments. If you guys would love to have, great testimonials from your audience, right? From your clients. That's one of those things that I know a lot of people like we would all love to have more of those. But one of the things when we're first starting out, right, it can be hard because we feel like we need to have, so many of these things, and testimonials is one of the big things. Whenever we're first starting out, we'd love to have that. We feel like that would be something that would allow our business to really take off and to get off to a great start. But we're just starting, so we don't have them yet. So what we want to do is kind of explore what are some of the things that you guys can do as you're getting started, right? If you don't have any testimonials yet, right, that's totally okay. We're going to break down a little bit about, why testimonials are important, right? But what you can also do, what testimonials really are, what it's really about, and ultimately what you guys can do to get started, even if you don't have any testimonials right now. So I think a good place to maybe to jump in, Mac, would be for yourself. Kind of, what do you see? Let's first talk about, before we dive into how we get started without testimonials. Maybe we can jump in and just explain a little bit about what the value of a testimonial is and what you really see, why you see that as being, something that we should all strive for in our business.
Love that. That's a great question. And I would recall the time when I was starting out. This was a transition when I was doing my corporate work towards starting my own business. And I was following several teachers and gurus, right? And everyone is saying you gotta have testimonials because that way you can build credibility. You'd be able to show that you are able to deliver what is it that you promise to your audience. But the challenge for me back then was that I was just starting out. How would I really be able to get those testimonials when, to begin with, I don't yet have any clients, right? Okay, good. So I, I think Cameron is trying to reconnect right now. So team, how many of you also can relate to any of that with what I just said right now? That you understand that testimonials is important, but it's just so difficult, right? Okay, let's go a bit deeper. What do testimonials actually do? Okay, let me ask you, everyone, go ahead, type that in the comments box. What do testimonials do for you? Okay, and as you type this, here's what I've come to realize, that testimonials is very important because number one, it builds credibility. It is able to show that, okay, I am able to deliver what I say. It also connotes reliability, meaning to say I'm able to deliver what I say I'm going to deliver and do that in a consistent manner. And finally, it talks about my relationships with my clients. So all those three ingredients actually build trust. Okay, hi to Judith. Hi, good to see you here. And to Malu as well. Team, if this is something that would be valuable for you, go ahead, tag your friends there in the comments box or click on the share button. Or if you like what we're talking about, click on the heart emoji right now. Just long press that, that thumbs up button there. Okay, it's going to come up with a heart emoji and press that. Okay, so we know that we're adding value to your morning or to your night. So, Cam, welcome back. I hope you're able to catch what I said.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think right at the end there, I think you touched on one of the key points, right? Where there's a lot of different there's a lot of value that comes from testimonials, right? We're not here to say that testimonials aren't great. You don't need them, right? They're a great thing to have, right? That all of the points you just made are very awesome. I think one of the key things that you touched on there was that testimonials ultimately, what I believe it boils down to, it helps you build trust.
Yeah.
Right? It helps your prospects trust. It helps your prospects trust that you can help them get results. Because ultimately, right, your prospects, like, what do they want to know? Right? They want to know that you can get them results,
Hmm.
right? When you really look at it, like, I don't think that there's a lot else that people care about other than can you actually deliver the results that you're saying? And testimonials are one of the great tools that we can use to showcase to our prospects that yes, indeed, we can deliver those results to you, right? Look at the people we've delivered results to in the past. But the one thing, again, and this is where I think where we really want to kind of touch on this, is because a lot of people see that as if I don't have testimonials, they're not going to trust me at all, right? It
Yeah.
just goes like completely the other direction. But what we want to talk about today, I think, is really looking at, okay, if what testimonials do for us, right, is they help us build trust with our audience.
Hmm.
We need to remember that that's one tool that we have at our disposal, right? As entrepreneurs, as coaches, as experts, right? As agencies, whatever it is that you guys are doing out there, right? Testimonials is one tool that we have in our entire tool belt.
Hmm.
So again, what I would like you guys to do, like write down in the comments, what are other ways, right? If we just said testimonials are ways to build trust, what are other ways that you can build trust with your audience?
Oh, I love that question. Wow. It reminds me of when I was starting out. You know what I did at the beginning? I started actually with those people who already trusted me to begin with.
Yeah.
I know I have no testimonial. I was about to launch my first um, training program, okay, and it wasn't even a low ticket offer back then. It was a
Mm,
mid ticket offer, and I had no testimonial. So I started off with people who already trust me, who already know me to begin with, and I did interviews with them. I asked them, "Is this something that would be valuable for you? Then come and join us." So I guess that's one way to do it. Um,
yeah.
what else? How about you, Cam?
Yeah, so there's one story actually was I just had seen recently, and this is from one of the kind of the bigger gurus. If everyone out there has heard of Grant Cardone,
Right.
right? So he's kind of a well known influencer in the sales and marketing space. And this is funny. So I think it's great where if you look at trust, well, you can obviously go to people who trust you already, right? Through other things that you've done, right? You already have that trust built up. But sometimes I think, and I think this is a big part of the reason why people procrastinate and use that as an excuse to not get started is they don't have that, is ultimately because when it boils down to it, we need a way to build trust with people, right? They're not going to give us their money if they don't trust us. But sometimes I think we really overcomplicate what it takes to build people's trust,
Mm.
right? So in one of the in this episode, there was a show that Grant was shooting for. I think it was Discovery Channel, right, where they go into a place that they're completely not known at all, and not recognizable from their usual self, and had to find a way to build $1 million business in 90 days.
Mm. Wow.
And so when you think of that place where literally starting over, have no connections, right? Have nothing that you can point to that you've done previously. Like, how do you go and build somebody's trust when you don't even have social media? You don't have any of these things. And again, we all think that we need to have all these tools, all these things to build trust. But ultimately, what it came down to was if you can have a discussion with your prospects,
Mm.
if you can help them see and gain clarity on the problems that they're having and how that's causing them to not achieve the results that they want, just simply helping people develop that clarity in their life, in their business, in their health, right? Whatever niche you guys help people with, by helping people develop that clarity, how do you think, right? Let us know in the comments. You think that's going to decrease your trust or increase your trust that they have in you,
Yeah. Increase. Definitely. Totally.
right? And so the big thing here is people overcomplicate and think we need to have all these things set up when ultimately, who here feels like they could have a genuine conversation with a prospect and help them highlight some of the issues that they're having, again, in their health, wealth, in their business, right? Whatever niche you guys are in their finances,
Mm.
right? Who here feels that if they were to sit down with an ideal prospect, you could have that conversation with and explain, right, what are the issues that they're having and help them shed light on that,
I think what
right?
you're touching
Put
on right now, Cam, is very important. The other day, I was having yesterday, I was having a conversation with Mommy N, right? Mommy Negosyo, and
mm,
she's one of your students, right, in your program. And it's not like Mommy N is new to this, okay? She's known in the industry here in the Philippines as a serial entrepreneur, but she's also learning this stuff right now with you, and going deep into the process. And one of the things that she's come to realize was that um, even at her level, she still has to make that one-on-one conversation and actually build trust from there, doing it really organically. Okay, because we've run ads, we've run one-to-many presentations, but somewhere along the way, people would start to look for those testimonials, even if you exactly know what is it that you're doing, coming from your own experience, right? And the way she's doing this, okay, she's doing it one on one. She's fixing her calendar system. Okay, she's setting it up so that people can actually book her for a 30-minute call, exactly like how you're doing it.
Mhm.
Annie is here, so let's bring her up. Okay, good, 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 good.
Awesome, awesome.
Yeah. So what I'm getting from you is that if you don't yet have any testimonials, go ahead and go out there and have a conversation one to one with your prospect and actually help them find clarity with their problem to begin with. Okay, you know what, that
Mm.
aspect is also very is already a game changer to begin with. You see, a lot of people don't solve their problems because they don't even know what their problems are. Right? Doesn't matter
Absolutely.
what it is that you're selling. Hello, Annie.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone.
Good, good, good. So
Well,
we're talking about how can you start even if you don't have testimonials yet, Annie. So think about the time when you were starting out in your own journey as an entrepreneur, with no testimonials yet. How did you start? How did you get clients? So we've established the importance of testimonials to begin with. But how was it like for you?
Um, I actually you you just got me there, but I had to quickly think. I actually had a lot of people. Like we talked about organic marketing last time, right?
Mm,
And I have been on social media since 2009. So as I was changing my life, my life just evolved on social media. Every time I learned something, I put on social media. And then the more I started to share my experiences, people started saying, oh my God, that was great. I really needed to hear that. So I
mm,
started to build the relationships. And then people would say, you need to talk to Annie. And people started putting stuff on social media going, Annie, this is really great. Or they would say, follow my friend Annie because she's doing this, and this. And they were testimonials in themselves. And then I started doing little events, free events here, there.
mm.
And I would get texts from the people that were there. And sometimes it would have like 2 people in an event. And that's really cool because that's 2 more than you had the day before.
Oh.
And I remember the big turning point was a one-liner when this lady said, you saved my life.
Mm.
And that was my one and only testimonial, but I used it. So I don't think you should be afraid that you don't have testimonials because people already know you.
I love that. I
Yeah.
love that, right? Doing things for free, adding value to people's lives, especially today because with social media you can really amplify this.
Hmm.
So while other salespeople, entrepreneurs, they just keep on selling, selling, selling. Okay, the game has changed to adding value first. I think that's already a minimum expectation right now. Keep on adding value, people will find resonance, and as there would be interaction, you're right, Annie. Okay, that can serve as a mini testimonial right there and then. Right? So now we have three, I think, Cam. What are the ways to do this, even if you don't yet have testimonials? Do a lot of free stuff for one. Have a conversation with your niche. Help them find clarity. Okay, and what's the third one? Yeah, what's the third one? I totally forget. Just-
no, I think that was a big part of it, right? Is one is being able to I'm trying to think here. I'm trying to remember if we did cover a third one, but yeah, I think Annie touched on another good point. Like there's different ways, because if you go back to what we were saying earlier, right, where ultimately what's a testimonial? It's a way for you to build trust. Well, what are ways you can build trust? Well, you can have a conversation, right? That's one way to do it. And like what Annie is saying is right, is doing kind of free, I think the two was one is like with free content, right?
right.
Putting out content that shows that you understand your target audience's problem,
Mm,
that's going to also build trust, right? Or you could do things like events, right? So that could be a third, right? Is where you're doing these small events where you're providing a ton of value, right? In return, you can get testimonials, whether those are messages, whether you get a full-on like video testimonial, right? Whichever one. I think one kind of little tip, and this is something that you guys can kind of take away from this, because I think a lot of us are doing some of these things already, but we don't really have a, like a system set up for actually collecting these testimonials. So, when after it happened, we got this one text and we just say, oh, well, hey, that's awesome. And then you forget about it. So when it comes to actually, trying to get launched, you're like, I don't have any testimonials. Well, you do. We haven't had a system to, organize it to actually keep track of those. So I think early on, whether it's just a small win, someone said, hey, I really loved your post, really helped me realize X, Y, Z in my life, right? All the way up to, like you said, actually saving people's lives. I actually was on a call with one of the people in my audience yesterday, and was just told that, he just wanted to thank me for being like, hey, like you literally changed my life. And it's just like amazing to hear that. It's just, how can we, take that, right? All of those little big or small things, that positive things that people say about the things that we're doing, and put that in a folder somewhere, save that, so that whenever it does come time to launch, right, you have a lot of testimonials already. It's just a matter of using them as such.
That totally makes sense. You're right. Organizing them is also very important. Um,
Mm.
okay, so I'd like to shift a bit. Okay, how then do you get testimonials? Right, that's also the second part of the title, right? How do you get your first testimonial? What are some of the tips that you can give? Annie, let's go to you.
Oh, okay. I was waiting for Cameron.
Hmm. Go ahead, ladies
Um,
first.
Tell you what, I had a huge aha moment the other day
Hmm.
when I work with my clients. So at the end of the session, I usually ask them, so what are your takeaways from today, and or wins, whatever it is. So then they give me feedback, because it's great feedback to know what we covered in that session. Did they get it? Did it land? Did it work wherever else? And the other day I had one of the most amazing testimonials. So I actually have to cut it out. First, I asked permission, and I got to cut it out of the Zoom recording to use it. And she said, we've been to so many other counselors and we never got anywhere. But today and every single week, we actually get to the bottom of what our situation is. And she said, and it's you not taking sides, you are equal. And
Hmm.
we, both of us, because she said every time they've gone to a different professional, it was either her or him. So the other one always felt that they missed out, or they were being put down, or whatever else. She said, but with you, she said, you're so equal. She said, we just love it. We're just sitting there listening and doing what we have to do. And I'm sitting there going, that was really great. And when he finished, I'm going, oh, that was really nice. And I go, oh, it's a testimonial. So we have to be very present to what they're talking about when we're talking to them. And then ask permission, say, this was so good. May I use this video? Now,
Nice.
if they say you can't use the video because they're shy or whatever else, then can I transcribe this? Yes. Can I use your name? No. Okay. Can I say where you're from? Yes. Great. Okay. So it's constantly asking permission, but there's seriously, we get testimonials left, right, and center when we're working with people. So
Hmm.
it's us being aware and then just asking permission from them, So that just really, really got me. And another thing, so this was the second thing. I was in a program last year, 8-week program, and in week 6, he sent out a questionnaire about how people are feeling about the course.
Hmm.
And by week 6, everybody is warm and fuzzy, breakthrough after breakthrough after breakthrough. Well, guess what? Everybody was going, yay, this is really great. Da, 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 da. So he had testimonials from like 50 people, right? And I just went, oh my God, I have to make that as one of my systems
Hmm.
from the perspective of testimonials, because when people are going through a program, that's when everything, they're warm and fuzzy, right? So they're feeling it. A week, 2 weeks after the event, they forgot all about it. They moved on with life. And then you want them to reconnect to the emotion. And I thought, okay, I have to bring that into what I do, create a questionnaire, and then just keep sending it out. And people will tell you So these are the two things that I've actually learned, let's say in the last 6 months, is to be very present to what my people are saying when I coach with them. And then also when we're having an experience, be on top of it a little bit and say, how are they running their business? Even though you're in a program, you can still watch what they're doing.
Right.
And you go, oh, that's a good one. So instead of me waiting, and then what I did when I finished my program, got on a call with every one of them to get a testimonial. That's hours and hours before. You know, I mean, you can reconnect with them, and that was great. But I think it would have been much easier for them and for me, because they were like, hey, we can't remember. And they were stressing because they wanted to help me and give me a good testimonial, but they weren't in the warm and fuzzy anymore. So I've learned big lesson from that. That when I'm in it, grab it there and then. Yeah.
Awesome. That's great. Great stuff. I love it. Cameron, any thoughts?
Yeah. So if we're looking at, for those of us that are starting, actually, what I want you guys to do, for those of you that are tuning in right now, type a me in the comments if somewhere throughout your guys' sales process you do a sales call or a discovery call, right? Type a me in the comments. So here's a little tip that you guys can use to not only probably start making sales, right, if you guys are starting, but also at the same time to start generating testimonials. So we have, and Mac, you've seen this in terms of the process that we help our clients set up. We call it the Freedom System. Inside of that system, one of the steps that we help people go through is what we call a discovery call, right? This is where you're building value, you're building trust, right? Which is one of the key components, right, of why we do testimonials, help building trust with your audience. And so for those of you here that are also doing these kinds of calls, again, remember the purpose of these calls is to figure out if they're the right fit, but also to deliver some kind of value to be able to earn their trust. Now, as I'm sure you guys know, right, if you guys have been doing this for a little bit, and we all know that not everybody is going to be a good fit for you. But guess what? Just because they're not a good fit for your program doesn't mean that you can't get value from them. Maybe they're not a good fit for your program, but maybe that session really helped them out and you can get a testimonial from them directly while you're on the call. At the end of the call, kind of like Annie said, while they're in that space of you just help them achieve a small breakthrough in their life, in their business, in their finances, in their relationships, right? You've built that trust. Even if that person isn't the right fit for you, even if they don't want to take that next step, a really great next step that you can take is be like, okay, cool. This isn't the right fit for you, but I'd love, if you have just a minute or two, I'd love to just have a quick chat about this experience we just had together and how that helped you, right? Would you be up for that?
Nice.
And so you get to do two in one. One is you get to identify, qualify, you get to start that sales process. And again, the goal here is obviously to get sales, but at the same time, not everyone's going to be a good fit. And guess what? You can still get a lot of value out of that simply by generating testimonials at the same time. So that's a little tip you guys can use for those of you that use sales calls as part of your sales process. So how about you, Mac? What tips do you have for people being able to generate testimonials as they're getting started?
Great tip. Okay, team, has this been helpful for you? Type helpful in the comments box if this has been helpful for you. Okay, so here's my tip. I'd like to add into what Annie and Cameron also mentioned and how I was able to also get testimonials. But first is that we have to understand, for me, what is a good testimonial? And a good testimonial is a testimonial that has numbers, that it actually shows results, again, and it also shows the relationship, my relationship with my clients. So therefore, it is important that I also guide people on how to create a testimonial, right? Because not everyone actually knows how to do it. Sometimes they just say that, yeah, I really had a fun time. Okay, and then what, right? So in that sense, how do I get testimonials? It starts by asking a question. So I would ask by, what results did this create for you? Okay, and do not hesitate to talk about numbers. So notice how I introduce myself. Hello, my name is Mac. Over the past so and so years, I have helped entrepreneurs build confidence to grow their sales by 300%. Okay, how come I'm able to say that with full confidence? It's because I did not make that up. It all came from the testimonials coming from my clients saying that, oh my gosh, Mac, look how engaged the teams are. Look how the sales that we were able to make. I would be receiving messages saying that, Mac, I achieved $1 million round table this year because I was consistent with your programs. So you see that? So, and it's not because they just wanted to put it out there. Okay, first again is that I asked them a question and I would encourage them talk about the numbers, the results that actually created for you. So that's one way to do it. The other way to do it is this one is similar to what Annie was mentioning during the program. Okay, so while in the program, before I would close it towards, let's say, about 90% of the entire program when you were running it, I would do a post, let's say a screenshot, and then I would post it in my social media channels. Okay, and you know what I would do next? I would ask them, team, I just did a post. Go ahead, tag yourselves there. And I have a question as well in the post. And what's the question? What results did this create for you? How did you feel about this? So you see? So what's happening there is that they are now interacting with the post. They're posting the responses in the comments box, and they are broadcasting to the whole wide world how amazing the program is. Make sense? So that's another free testimonial for you on the spot. What else? Here's a third tip. Okay, sometimes results happen there could be some time delay before results happen, yes? So that is why for me it is very important to keep constant communication and relationship with our clients even after the program. Okay, I know a lot of you guys are watching this are financial advisors, and your commitment to your clients is that you're going to be serving them for the rest of your life, isn't it? Yes or no? Type yes if that's the case for you. Okay, so you better be building good relationships with them. So what I also do is that I would ask my team, okay, my marketing guys, can you please book me schedule with our past students and we can have a one-on-one conversation. This now goes towards a discovery call or a simple 30-minute conversation over Zoom. Okay? And please give them a heads up that I am interested to know what are the results that they have been creating in their lives and in their businesses. So they would go into the call ready with these numbers. Because watch this, team. I've run programs, and at the end of the program, I had participants approach me that, Mac, oh my gosh, that just changed my life. Okay, and you know what my response is to them? Here's what I would say. No, not yet. You just finished the program. You like it, you like the emotion, you're happy right now, you're elated, but did it really change your life? Not yet. So here's what we're going to do. 3 months from now, let's have another call because I want you to be implementing everything that you've learned here, change your life, then let's have that call because I'd be interested to know how you'd be able to change your life. You see, a lot of people, they go to programs and they say that, yeah, nothing is happening. Well, nothing is happening because you didn't do anything to begin with, right? That's why there's no change. So you better be implementing. So along the way, I'm maintaining that relationship, that communication with my audience, with our clients, with our participants, okay? And then we do a follow-through call, even after the program, okay? So yeah, we have participants that constantly, they show up every day in the big players group. These are also coaches that have gone through the scale up coach. And we would meet 30 minutes every day. Okay, program is already done, but the relationship stayed. Okay, so team, did you like that? Type yes in the comments box if that has been helpful for you. I want to know. Okay, don't go lazy on me. I can see all of you is watching right now. Go ahead, type yes in the comments box. If you didn't like it, type no also. Okay, has this been helpful? Let me know how this has been helpful for you. So you see, so there, I just asked the question.
They mesmerized.
Back to you, Cameron.
Yeah, and I just want to jump in and highlight a key point that I think you mentioned right at the start, Mac. I just want to highlight, emphasize this. So for those of you here that are wanting to generate really great testimonials for your business, I think Mac made a little nugget of gold there about helping guide your prospects, clients through the actual process of creating a testimonial. Right. So not only is it, by asking them questions, right? And I think some of the greatest questions, like Max said, is like, looking at what are the numbers, right? That was another thing, right? Is actually getting as much as you can, some, kind of hard facts and how it actually changed. But I think when you look at the questions, because a lot of people, if you say, hey, can you do a testimonial? People might be really excited and really want to, but they don't know how to structure a testimonial, right? They'll be like, this was awesome, right? It really helped me. And that's not really going to help your case that much. So whenever you're asking them questions for testimony, really you want to get 2 or 3 key things. First, what they were struggling with before, right? Before coming into your program, before coming into the call with you, before reading your content, before attending your workshop, what were they struggling with? Right? That's the big thing. Because what does this do? This helps your future prospects when they watch this testimonial say, hey, I'm struggling with that too. Then you want to know, what was the breakthrough that was had? What was the key takeaway as Annie was talking with her clients? What's the key takeaway? What's the key breakthrough? What's the key insight that they've developed? And then finally, what's the outcome? What's the results? Right? So what that does is it takes you through the transformation of that prospect, of that client, right? So that your future people watching the testimonial can now be like, hey, I have that problem. I want that breakthrough, right? So that I can get those results. I want to see what this person has to say.
I love that.
Right. So really guiding people through that process. Again, that's why, with what I was saying, where you're actually getting on a call, like you said, Mac, right? Doing this on a call is going to be more powerful. But if you can't, for whatever reason or whatever, you can always script out on the questions, like go over, can you answer these 3 questions, right? Giving them a bit of a framework is going to help you create much, much better testimonials.
Can I add to that?
Go, Annie.
Okay. One of the things that I learned from Blair Singer, and we mentioned Blair a lot, but when he was talking about testimonials, is to not forget to address the emotions, because everything comes from emotion. It's not thought. And like, numbers and results are great, but when people are in pain, they are in emotional pain. So not doing the numbers creates an emotional result. So when we're looking at the problems and it's like, and how did that affect you? How did you feel? What was going on? I couldn't go on anymore. I couldn't sleep and I was so tired and my health was suffering and whatever, right? And then, so working with Mac, now these are my results and I increased by 300% and this and that. And how do you feel about that? Oh, I feel so much joy and I feel alive and I wake up in the morning and I jump out of bed because I want to work on my business because I get it. And I got it because I learned the tools and all that. And with that, people go, oh, I want to feel joy. I want to feel excited. I want to jump out of bed, because everybody is chasing a good feeling. Because you can have great results, because there's a lot of people that have good results, but they're miserable because there's something else underlying. And the thing is, all 3 of us here, and a lot of other people that we have involved in this gig here, we coaches, but we don't just coach a skill. We don't just do business development. Alongside, we do personal development. Because unless you do personal development, you can have all the skills in the world and do like an accountant, do another course. If you're still afraid of talking to people on a phone, you're never going to apply what you know.
Yeah.
Right? So it's really important that we ask them, and how did you feel when you had that pain? What was it like? Right? And they'll go, oh, I felt like this and I felt like that. And I go, and how do you feel now? Oh, and if you are lucky enough to get a video testimonial, even if you interview them and in the interview there's you and the person, people are going to see the body language and they'll get really connected. For the visual people, like a video testimonial is amazing. And if you tell people, sorry?
That's a great reminder. Because you know what? Now that you mention emotions, a lot of people don't realize that what makes us connect, even with a simple copy, a copyright, a headline, it is the emotional words that are actually there. In fact, everyone who's watching this, okay, you all have your Netflix, right? So here's what I want you to do. Go to Netflix and check out selling sunset. So these are real estate agents, right? And then they're selling real estate. Okay. But what I want you to see is go ahead, check out how they are summarizing each of the episodes. And you would notice that there are emotional words that are actually there. Now, it's not just because they wanted to put it there, it's because that is what is creating relatability. Right? So go ahead, check that out. It creates intrigue. Okay? Because watch this. Let me give you an example. Um, yeah, so we did a copy for Mac at Trump. Okay? So
Yeah.
one copy can sound something like um, learn how to increase your sales by 20 to 200%. Would that be a good copy? Yes or no? That's good, right? But what if it sounds something like this? Okay, in this free webinar, one of the top sales guru reveals his secrets on how he was able to grow his business by 200%. No. Reveals shocking secrets to increase sales by 200%. Which one is better? All right, the first one or the second one? Exactly, right? What did I do? Just inserted the word shocking. So there you go. Welcome back, Cameron.
I'm back.
Okay, I want to go to that
go.
coffee shop wherever you are. It looks really nice.
It looks. I can't see it as nice during the night, but it is. It's a beautiful spot. You can see kind of out the little courtyard, and we got a pool and everything, and it's a good spot for sure.
Very nice.
But this is the last week that will be here. We're going to be moving locations for our session next week. So stay tuned for next week to see where we're at.
We should call it Traveling with Cameron.
Great. Okay, everybody who's watching right now, do you have any questions? Just type it there in the comments box. And remember that you can join the Exponential Traction Club. Okay, and that's a Telegram group. Just click the link. It is there in the description of this video. Okay, Cameron, Annie, and myself is there in the group. You can interact with us there. If you have a question that you'd like us to tackle, all you have to do is post it in the group. Okay, whether this would be in the context of relationships, business, leads, and importantly as well, every Wednesday we talk about relationships. Okay, a resident relationships architect, the Annie Callis, all the way from Melbourne, Australia. Is the one in charge of that show on Wednesdays. We go deep there. Okay, we talk about sometimes very sensitive stuff. Okay, the things that other people don't like to talk about, but you need to hear, right? That's
Absolutely. Absolutely. Do you know a lot of people could live, and I like this word at the moment, warm and fuzzy, because it feels good and it feels delicious. You can so easily turn things around in your relationship, because when people have problems in relationships, it's all got to do with misunderstandings. That's it. It's not understanding what the other person is trying to say to you. But when you get to the core of why you don't understand, and it's only in a couple of sessions, literally in a couple of sessions, things start to shift. Session 1, things start to shift because they go, oh, I never knew that. It's like, oh, okay, I can't wait for the next one. I have to share something with you. Somebody asked me the other day, so Annie, do you have a backup plan if somebody wants to pull out of your program halfway through? And I went, no. She said, well, you're going to give the money back? I said, I never thought about that. She said, well, you need to think about that. And I go, no. Okay, great question, and I'll have a think about it. But I said to her, if I get into that mindset that, oh my God, what if people are going to leave? Then I'm going to stay in that mindset. I trust in my methodology. I've worked with enough people to see that, things have changed straight away. And if they adamant, first you need to find out, why do you want to leave? And in general, well, I actually haven't had this, but I've heard from people before, is because something else happens in their life and they're trying to figure out how can they get money to pay for things. So then they cut away from themselves and their growth and their advancement because they get very caught up with the money. So once you discover that, they probably won't leave. I had this in my other business. I haven't had it in this business, but I had it in my other business. And then if it was really, they were really adamant, I said, that's okay, send it back and get your money back. Simple. Because I'm not attached to the money, I'm attached to their growth. But it was a great question. And like, it kind of stopped me in my tracks going, maybe we could talk about this. This is a good subject to talk about.
You know what, Annie? That's also related to what we're talking about today with regard to testimonials, because what you're actually describing there is the customer experience.
Yeah.
What? Things can go south, okay? And as long as, and how, I like how you're saying it, it's not about the attachment to the money, but it's about, you know, putting your clients first. That actually builds to a great testimonial,
Yeah.
right? So I've done that for a high ticket client that I had to return everything, and I even volunteered to return everything. Okay? So because she got sick. Even if you've already gone through the coaching halfway, she got sick. So I understand her plight. Okay? And you know that person? She kept on telling her friends, you go to Mac. You need help, you go to Mac.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So I don't think that, I'm sure that Cameron agrees to this too. This is not about, oh my God, okay, I made 10 grand. Hold on to it. The more you help the other person and whatever happens in their life, they'll come back. I really believe that they come back. And I've learned this from my other business, my multi-level, well, it was direct selling business, where in a moment I still gave them a service. And they said, I can't buy anything today. I said, doesn't matter. Now you know your size, you know everything. If at any point you come into the situation that you can purchase some of this product, here's my number and keep me connected. Can I take your email address and keep you on my database? Absolutely. Guess what? You get the call. I have $500 for my birthday. Let's go shopping. It's like, I said, okay, we have your size. I don't need to do anything else. What do you want? Do you want pink? Do you want red? Do you want black? Do you want white? So you never know when the business is going to come. This is about long-term gain, not short-term gain, with clients. And with your client, like, she was really ill, this is, and when you make it about them, and sometimes you can't help people, but they're going to tell somebody else, hey, I know someone. I didn't know about Cameron. Cameron's come along and I'm in love with everything you say, Cameron. He's frozen, so I don't know whether he hears it. And then my best friend is in the same group with Cameron. She goes, oh, I know this guy, Cameron. And I said, is this Cameron so I think that's how, sorry?
Arsenal.
Okay. And I go, oh my God, that's the guy who's exponential traction. Oh my God. She goes, oh God, he's so good. So there you go. So I think it's great to build the community, and it's great to talk about, other people. Did you hear anything I said, Cameron?
I caught a little bit of that. It cut off at the end. I think the one thing that I kind of have, and this is something that I just came across recently to kind of bring this back, in terms of, what we were talking about in the past with, building relationships and testimonials and stuff like that. And I think what you mentioned there is really important, where whenever we're looking at, whether it's creating great testimonials, whether it's creating great relationships with our clients, the important thing to remember, I think, for all of you guys out there, if you guys are wanting to create these really great relationships with your clients, is ultimately, we as coaches, right, as experts, as people who are helping them, sometimes we need to be hard. But what I mean by this is we need to be hard not on the person, right? For example, like Mac, you said your client was going through an unfortunate health situation, and then a similar situation for you and your client, Annie, right? We don't want to be hard on the person. We want to look at ourselves as partners, and together we're hard on the problem, right? Trying to solve whatever that problem is and finding ways around, right, those obstacles, right? Whether that's working through your program together and being hard on the problems that they're facing, or whenever other things happen, right, that are outside the scope of your program, you still should see yourself as a partner, as a teammate, in terms of trying to help them solve that problem and improve their life. And so ultimately, I think that's one of the big things. I know we're kind of reaching the top of the hour here. That's one of the big things I want to, if you guys can take away one thing from this, is really looking at yourselves as trying to create a great experience for your clients, for your customers, for your prospects, right? All the people that you interact with, you should look at trying to see yourself as being a guide, someone who can partner with them and help work together to solve that problem. And by doing that, you're going to create much better experiences, much better relationships with your clients, with your prospects. And ultimately, if we bring this back to the start, you're going to create much better testimonials in the long run for your business as well. So that's one thing I want to leave you guys with. I don't know what, Annie, maybe what would you like to leave with our audience today as we start to wrap up today's session?
I think I'd like to go to how I started, is to be very present to your conversations, because you'll be able to pick up a testimonial in your conversation. And really, ultimately, it's how we make people feel is not what we say. When we make them feel great, calm, that they're winning, they're the heroes, they will love you because they feel safe. And that's what I want to finish up with. And have a great weekend, everyone.
Thank you, Cameron, and thank you, Annie. Okay, everybody, I'm gonna leave you with this. So there are different ways in order for you to start, even if there's no testimonials. And we've talked about that lengthily in this call over the past 1 hour. But the moment that you're already starting to work with your client, always remember that, well, or this is based on my own experience, that the number one ingredient that's gonna let them give you an amazing testimonial is when you're able to help them create results while they are with you. So that is really you delivering. You see, what I notice is that there are a lot of gurus out there that what they do is that they teach or try to teach information, right? They're so focused on the what. You get this, team? How many of you ever experienced that? That while in the program, you realize, okay, I like this, I'm getting so much information, but I'm not really creating results for myself. Now, the distinction I'd like to create with the programs that we deliver, whether that's with Cameron, with Annie, with me, is that while in the program, you are creating results. So if you're a teacher, if you're an entrepreneur, make sure that you also do that with your clients. Think about what would be a low hanging fruit that they can create or that they can pick. What would that result be? Now, our brand promise, for example, for the business launch challenge is that you'd be able to launch your business within 3 weeks' time. But within the 3 weeks' time, right now, we're recalibrating the program because we want you to be able to generate sales as much as between 30% to 300%. So think about this. Growing your sales by 30%, that would have already been able to pay for over and above the entire course tuition. You see that? So what does that do? It actually also prepares the participant to then invest in themselves to the next level program and so on and so forth. Is this making sense so far, team? Type MS if this makes sense. Doesn't matter what is it that you're selling. What would be the result that you can create for them? And then from there, asking for a testimonial, referral, that would come much easier. Those are my final thoughts for this morning. Truly appreciate you, Annie, Cameron, everyone who's watching this. Have a great weekend, everybody, and we'll see you on Tuesday. Okay, bye bye for now. Take care, everyone.
Bye,
Take care,
everyone.
team.
Bye. Bye.